What if I told you that the breakfast food you trust most for staying strong could actually be making you weaker? Today, I want to share something that might completely change how you think about your health after turning 50. Have you been finding it tougher to get out of bed each morning? Do stairs feel more challenging than they used to? Does your energy seem to disappear halfway through the day? If any of this sounds familiar, then what I'm about to tell you could be exactly what you need to know. There's one particular food that nearly everyone considers healthy, but most of us are preparing it all wrong. I'm talking about eggs. Yes, those same eggs that your family doctor has been recommending for their excellent protein content. The same eggs you've probably been eating every morning, believing you're doing something good for your body. Here's what might surprise you. The way you're currently eating eggs could actually be working against your muscles without you knowing it. Have you ever heard the word sarcopenia? It describes the gradual but steady loss of muscle tissue that starts around age 30 and picks up speed dramatically after 50. We're looking at somewhere between 3% to 8% muscle loss every single decade. Over 20 years, that could add up to a 16% decrease in your overall strength and ability to move around easily. What's really concerning is that new research reveals certain common egg-eating habits can make this muscle loss happen up to 40% quicker. That's right, the very food that should be helping you keep your muscles strong might actually be quietly breaking them down instead. Over the next several minutes, I'm going to walk you through 7 major mistakes that people over 50 make when it comes to eggs. These mistakes are so common that chances are you're making at least one of them right now. These errors can lead to fast muscle decline, ongoing tiredness that seems to come from nowhere, problems with balance, difficulty handling everyday activities, and worst of all, needing to depend on others sooner than necessary. But here's the encouraging news. You can turn this around. I'm going to share the exact approach that thousands of people have used to rebuild their muscle strength and get their energy back. Using nothing more than eggs prepared the correct way. Before we jump into the first mistake, let me tell you about Maria, a 68-year-old woman who visited my office 8 months ago. She had been eating 2 eggs for breakfast every single day for 15 years, exactly like her doctor told her to do. But over just 3 years, she had lost so much strength that she couldn't carry her groceries or stand up from a low chair without help. Her blood tests showed something alarming. Her amino acid levels looked like someone who wasn't getting enough protein at all, even though she was eating eggs every day. How could this happen? Because she was unknowingly making 6 of the 7 mistakes I'll explain today. Once she fixed these problems, she got back 23% of her lost muscle in just 6 months and returned to living her life fully. If she could achieve this at 68, imagine what might be possible for you once you learn exactly what to stay away from and how to fix it. Here's what's important to understand. This isn't about eating more eggs. It's about eating them the right way. Every mistake I'm going to share is backed by solid scientific research, not fads or unproven ideas, but established facts that could determine whether you stay strong and independent or watch your abilities slip away too early. Before I share the details, please leave a comment below telling us where you're watching from and your age. Let's see how many of us are choosing to protect our strength as we get older. So make yourself comfortable, because these next few minutes could be the most important ones for your muscle health. And make sure you stay with me until the end, because I'll give you a complete step-by-step plan that you can start using tomorrow. Mistake number 1: poor protein timing. Let's start with the first mistake, one that's so widespread you've probably done it yourself. I call it the breakfast-only habit, where all your egg eating gets squeezed into just one meal, usually first thing in the morning. Think about it. How many times have you been told that eggs are the perfect morning food? While there's some truth to that, the rest of the story shows why this approach might be quietly draining your muscle strength. Your body doesn't work like a gas tank that you can fill up once and forget about. It's more like a car engine that needs regular fuel to keep running well. When it comes to building muscle protein, there's a limit to how much protein your body can actually use at one time. Research from the University of Arkansas Center for Aging research tells us that adults over 50 need about 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal to kickstart their muscle-building processes, much more than the 15 to 20 grams that younger adults need. Here's where it gets tricky. One large egg contains roughly 6 grams of protein. So, even if you eat 3 eggs at breakfast, that's only 18 grams, not enough to fully turn on your muscle-building system. And the problem isn't just about the amount. The day. Picture watering a garden just once daily, dumping all the water at the same time. Some plants would get too much water, others would stay dry, and by evening, most would be struggling. The same thing happens with your muscles. A big surge of amino acids after breakfast only lasts about 3 hours, and your body can't save the extras for later. For the rest of the day, up to 20 hours, your muscles can actually start breaking down, using their own tissue to meet your body's needs. In a study published in the Journal of Nutrition, 120 older adults followed 2 different eating patterns for 12 weeks. One group had 30 grams of egg protein only at breakfast. The other group divided that same amount evenly across 3 meals, 10 grams each at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The results were impressive. The evenly spaced group saw a 25% increase in muscle protein building compared to just 8% in the breakfast-only group. They also kept 34% more muscle mass, gained 28% more leg strength, improved their balance and coordination by 19%, and felt less tired during the day. The lesson: it's not about eating more eggs. It's about spacing them wisely to keep your body in a building state all day long. The solution is simple, but requires forming new habits. Aim for 1 or 2 eggs every 4 to 6 hours to maintain steady amino acid levels. That might mean 1 egg at breakfast, 1 at lunch, and 1 at dinner. Or 2 at breakfast and 2 at dinner, spaced 6 hours apart. Fixing this first mistake sets you up for better strength and energy. But there's another error that's just as common. In fact, 89% of older adults do it daily, unknowingly destroying up to 35% of an egg's nutritional value. It's something you do automatically in the kitchen, and it might even be why you sometimes feel heavy or uncomfortable after eating eggs. That's mistake number 2, and it's quite an eye-opener. Mistake number 2: nutrient-destroying cooking. Now, let's look at the second mistake: nutrient-destroying cooking. And by destroying, I mean you're actually breaking down the essential amino acids your body depends on to maintain muscle strength. Ever wonder why your grandmother's scrambled eggs tasted wonderful but didn't seem to give you lasting energy? Or why you sometimes feel sluggish or bloated after eating eggs? The problem often comes down to how you cook them and what temperature you use. Nearly 9 out of 10 people over 50 make this mistake every day. Without realizing, they're stealing the nutritional value from their eggs. Here's the science behind it. It's called heat-induced protein denaturation. Think of the protein in an egg like a perfectly organized pearl necklace. With each pearl, amino acid arranged exactly right for your body to use. Expose it to high heat, over 180 degrees Celsius, 356 degrees Fahrenheit, and that perfect order gets destroyed. It's like tangling that necklace into a messy knot, forcing your body to work up to 3 times harder to use those amino acids. Research from California's Food Technology Institute discovered that eggs cooked at very high temperatures lost as much as 35% of their usable protein, especially leucine, which is crucial for older adults to build muscle. The problem is that most of us learned to cook eggs back when the main concern was killing bacteria quickly, not preserving nutrition. This meant high heat was the standard approach, great for safety, but terrible for protein quality. Let me guess your cooking method. Pan on medium-high heat, oil or butter sizzling. Eggs go in, cook them fast. Does that sound about right? Pan can reach 200 degrees Celsius, way past the point where damage occurs. The worst cooking methods. High heat, scrambled eggs. If the eggs are popping and sizzling in the pan, the proteins are already breaking down. Those tiny hard bits you see, that's overcooked. Protein that your body struggles to process. Fried until the whites are completely solid. A tough, fully white appearance means excessive heat. The best texture is still soft and slightly see-through. Fast browned omelets. Quick browning means burned proteins on the outside and undercooked risks on the inside. The fix: switch to gentle cooking methods that protect up to 95% of the nutrition. Low-heat cooking. Take your time. To 2 to 3 minutes longer is worth it. If you can hold your hand 10 centimeters over the pan for 5 seconds, the heat is just right. Moist, gentle. Cooking. Start on medium-low with a splash of water mixed in the butter or oil. Let it steam gently before adding the eggs. 4 scrambled eggs. Stir slowly on low heat for 6 to 8 minutes for creamy perfection. Poaching. This is ideal for preserving proteins. The water should be around 85 degrees Celsius. You want small bubbles, not a rolling boil. Omelets use low-medium heat and fold instead of flipping. Letting the remaining heat finish the job without burning the proteins. And if you think you've mastered egg cooking, just wait for mistake number 3. It's about foods that can block up to 60% of amino acid absorption, and you might be eating them with your eggs right now without knowing it. Mistake number 3. The deadly duo effects. Here's mistake number 3, and it's a sneaky one because it involves foods most people think are actually good for them. I call it the deadly duo effect, where pairing eggs with the wrong foods can rob you of up to 60% of their valuable protein. Picture this. You wake up, cook your eggs perfectly using all the right methods, eat them faithfully every morning, but unknowingly combine them with foods that quietly block the amino acids your muscles are craving. Your digestive system doesn't process nutrients in neat, separate packages. It's more like a busy highway where different nutrients compete for the same entry points. When eggs are combined with certain foods, they create traffic jams that prevent protein from being fully absorbed. Dr. Robert Wolfe, a leading expert in protein metabolism, has discovered that some compounds can slash amino acid absorption in older adults by 40% to 60%. The tricky part is that these compounds often hide in foods we think make a healthy breakfast. Let's identify the troublemakers Inhibitor 1. Phytates, known as anti-nutrients. Phytates are found in large amounts in whole grains, oats, whole wheat bread, and seeds. Sound familiar? That healthy plate of eggs with whole wheat toast might actually be working against you. Phytates attach to amino acids like leucine and lysine, locking them away from absorption. A University of Illinois study showed that just one slice of whole wheat bread eaten with eggs can reduce leucine absorption by up to 45%, inhibitor to tannins found in coffee, tea, and wine. Tannins stick to proteins and make them harder for your body to use. Think about how many times you've had eggs with coffee. It's creating a nutrition roadblock. Tannins are why red wine leaves that dry feeling in your mouth. They bind to your saliva's proteins. In a University of Barcelona study, older adults who waited 2 hours after eating eggs to drink coffee had 38% better muscle mass retention than those who had them together. Inhibitor 3. Excess calcium. Surprisingly, too much calcium in the same meal can interfere with protein absorption. Not the small amount in eggs themselves, but from dairy eaten alongside them, like milk with scrambled eggs or yogurt in an omelette. Calcium competes with amino acids for absorption, and your body often prioritizes the calcium. Research from Dr. Ellen Volpe at the University of Texas shows that over 400 milligrams of calcium in the same meal can reduce muscle protein building by up to 25% in older adults. Inhibitor 4. Excess fiber. Those super healthy breakfasts of eggs with spinach, broccoli, oats, and fruit can create a fiber trap that wraps around proteins and carries them out before your body can use them. Fiber is essential for digestion, but timing matters. More than 15 grams in the same meal as eggs sharply reduces their protein availability. The most damaging combinations I often see: eggs plus whole wheat toast plus coffee, phytates, gluten, and tannins all at once, omelette with spinach plus orange juice, oxalates and excess vitamin C scrambled eggs plus oats plus milk, phytates, calcium overload, and fiber eggs plus beans plus coffee, double phytates plus tannins. Does this mean you should eliminate these foods entirely? Absolutely not. Just time them better. Your body needs about 90 minutes to absorb the amino acids from eggs. During that window, avoid the protein blockers mentioned above. Here's the ideal approach. Eat eggs alone or with healthy fats like avocado or olive oil. Wait 90 minutes before having coffee, tea, or phytate-rich foods. Keep high-fiber foods at least 2 hours apart from eggs. Enjoy dairy in separate meals. Coming up, I'll walk you through mistakes 4 5, 6, and 7. And one of them is so serious it might be draining up to 40% of your muscle mass. Even if you're doing everything else correctly. If you're still watching and enjoying this information, please go ahead and give it a like. It really helps support the channel. Mistake number 4. The illusion of quantity. Welcome back. Hopefully, you've been taking notes on the first 3 mistakes, because this next one might completely change how you think about egg consumption after age 50. Mistake number 4 is what I call the illusion of quantity. And it's one of the main reasons millions of older adults live with an unnoticed protein shortage. The tricky part is that even many health professionals fall for this when giving general advice. A question I hear all the time is, so, how many eggs should I eat in a day? The common answer you'll get is, oh, 1 or 2 should be fine. Here's the real story. If you're over 50 and only eating 1 or 2 eggs daily, you're quietly working against your muscle health. That advice comes from nutrition guidelines designed for young, healthy people, not for older adults fighting sarcopenia. It's like expecting the same driving directions to work for both a sports car and an 18-wheeler truck. It just doesn't make sense. 1 large egg contains roughly 6 grams of high-quality protein. Sounds reasonable, right? The problem is your body needs to reach something called the leucine threshold to switch on muscle protein building. Leucine is the amino acid that signals your muscles to repair and grow. For younger adults, this threshold is around 2.5 grams of leucine per meal. But once you pass 50, you need about 2.8 to 3.2 grams because of something called anabolic resistance, meaning your muscles become less responsive and need a stronger signal to start building protein. Let's break it down. 1 large egg has around 0.5 grams of leucine. Eat 2 eggs and you're only at 1 gram, far from the muscle-building trigger point. That's like trying to start your car with a nearly dead battery. It might work on a lucky day, but most of the time it won't tour to hit the 3-gram leucine target after 50. You'd need about 6 eggs in 1 meal, and before you start worrying about cholesterol. Here's the good news. Recent research, including a 2019 analysis of over 500,000 people, shows that dietary cholesterol has little impact on blood cholesterol for most people, particularly later in life. One study that really opened my eyes came from Dr. Stuart Phillips at McMaster University. He tracked 48 adults aged 65 to 75 for 12 weeks, dividing them into 3 groups. Group 1 ate 2 eggs, daily 12 grams protein. Group 2 ate 4 eggs, daily 24 grams protein. Group 3 ate 6 eggs, daily 36 grams protein. Lost 2.3% muscle mass Group 2 maintained theirs. Group 3 boosted muscle mass by 4.7% and improved strength by 23%. All groups ate the same calories and did identical workouts. The only difference was the egg count. To understand why protein needs increase after 50. Think of your muscles like a plant. When you're young, a small watering can keeps it thriving. But as you age, it's like the plant develops a waxy coating, and you need a heavier flow to reach the roots. In scientific terms, your muscles become less sensitive to growth triggers. Dr. Douglas Padang-Jones describes it as an old engine needing more fuel to climb the same hill, not broken, just less efficient. So, how many eggs should you eat? Here's the method I recommend. Find your weight in kilograms, multiply by 1.4 to get daily protein in grams. Divide that by 3 main meals. Every 6 grams of protein equals 1 egg. For example, at 70 kilos, 70 times 1.4 equals 98 grams protein daily. 98 divided by 3 equals 32.6 grams per meal. 32.6 divided by 6 equals 5.4 eggs per meal. Yes. That's about 5 to 6 eggs each main meal if they're your primary protein source. But before you decide that's too many, mistake number 5 is so sneaky that it can prevent your body from absorbing the full benefit of your eggs, even if you're eating the right amount. Mistake number 5. The hidden thread. We've arrived at the 5th mistake. And it's especially frustrating because it can quietly undo much of your previous hard work. I call it the hidden threat because it's something you see all the time in grocery stores, sitting innocently on the shelf next to a far better version of itself. I'm talking about the type of eggs you choose. And before you think an egg is just an egg, let me share research that will completely change how you select them from now on. The difference between a cheap $2 a dozen carton and a pasture-raised option could be the deciding factor between rebuilding muscle strength or watching it slowly fade away. This isn't hype. The nutrient gap is so wide that they might as well be entirely different foods. An egg's quality is directly connected to the hen's diet and lifestyle, a reality the food industry doesn't want you to think too deeply about. A hen confined to a cramped cage, eating only processed corn and soy laced with hormones and antibiotics, cannot produce the same egg as one that roams on open pasture, foraging on insects, grasses, and organic feed. Dr. Karen Applegate at the University of Pennsylvania compared eggs from various farming methods, and her findings, cited over 200 times, were eye-opening. Here's what the data shows when comparing conventional to pasture-raised eggs: omega-3s, up to 6 times more in pasture-raised. Eggs, vital for lowering the inflammation that speeds muscle decline. Without adequate omega-3s, even top-quality protein won't work at its best. Vitamin E, as much as triple the amount. Protecting muscle cell walls during activity and repair. Beta-carotene, up to 7 times higher, giving yolks their deep orange color, and boosting antioxidant support for muscle recovery. Amino acids, notably leucine, essential for triggering muscle protein building, can be up to 23% higher. Here's the bigger problem with conventional eggs. They may actually fuel chronic inflammation. Factory-farmed hens are routinely given antibiotics to offset disease risk in overcrowded, unsanitary barns. The leftover residues, combined with an omega-6 heavy fat profile from their corn and soy-based diet, contribute to low-grade inflammation. Chronic inflammation, research shows, is a major driver of sarcopenia. A University of Illinois trial tracked 120 older adults for 6 months. Both groups ate 4 eggs per day and followed the same exercise routine. One group ate conventional eggs, the other pasture-raised. Results were dramatic. Conventional egg group, 2.1% muscle gain, 8% drop in inflammation, 12% strength boost. Pasture-raised egg group, 6.7% muscle gain, 34% drop in inflammation, 28% strength boost. Same egg count, same workouts, radically different outcomes, simply due to egg quality. So, how do you spot the best ones? Certifications. Pasture-raised hens spend 6 hours daily outdoors, certified organic, no antibiotics, pesticides, or GMOs, omega-3 enriched feed, designed for higher omega-3 content. Visual check, rich orange yolk, firm whites that hold their shape, strong shells indicate quality. Freshness test, a fresh egg sinks completely in water. If it floats or tilts upright, it's past its prime. Cost is the main hesitation. Yes, pasture-raised eggs cost 3 to 4 times more. But think strategically. You might need just 4 to 6 premium eggs for optimal benefits, compared to 6 to 8 lower quality ones for average results. Factor in the savings from skipping extra supplements, avoiding medical bills linked to muscle loss, and protecting your independence. The value becomes clear. Mistake number 6. Neglecting proper hydration. We've arrived at the 6th mistake. And this one often slips under the radar, even among doctors and nutrition experts. When discussing protein intake, I call it neglected hydration. And it's the reason why many people, despite eating eggs regularly, see only part of the benefits they could. The question almost no one asks is, what happens to dietary protein if your body doesn't have the water it needs to process it efficiently? The answer sheds light on why some people experience remarkable improvements from more eggs, while others notice barely any difference. To understand this mistake, you must grasp something most people overlook. Muscle protein building demands a significant amount of water. And I'm not just talking about general hydration. I mean water specifically allocated for building muscle. Every time your body constructs new muscle protein, water is essential to carry amino acids from your bloodstream into muscle tissue, enable the enzyme-driven processes that connect these amino acids, flush out metabolic waste from protein breakdown, keep cells at the right volume for building research from Dr. Lawrence Armstrong at the University of Connecticut shows that even mild dehydration, just 2%, can slash muscle protein building in older adults by as much as 23%. The problem is that after age 50, your thirst mechanism weakens, a condition known as age-related hypodipsia. Your body stops sending strong thirst signals for key metabolic needs. At the same time, kidney efficiency declines, causing more water loss and body composition shifts. Less muscle to hold water and more fat, which can't store it. The result: many people live in a constant state of low-level dehydration without realizing it. One University of Nebraska study tracked 84 older adults for 3 months, testing hydration and muscle protein building daily. The findings were concerning. 73% were chronically dehydrated, and their protein building was 31% lower compared to well-hydrated peers. So how much water is needed to maximize egg protein benefits? It varies, but here's a baseline formula: 35 milliliters of water per kilogram of body weight for daily needs. Add 500 milliliters for every 20 grams of protein. Add 250 milliliters for every hour of physical activity. Add 200 milliliters for every decade after age 50. Example: at 70 kilos, eating 25 grams of egg protein, base 35 milliliters. Protein 25 divided by 2500 milliliters equals 625 milliliters. Age 70 years equals 2 decades. Over 50 to 200 milliliters equals 400 milliliters. Total 3,475 milliliters, about 3.5 L per day. Quantity is only half the story. Timing matters just as much. Your body can't store water like it stores fat, so hydration must be consistent, particularly after protein-rich meals. Plus, for optimal protein building, your water should contain the right electrolyte balance to help transport amino acids into cells. Tap water rarely has ideal levels, and many sports drinks load up on sugar while lacking necessary electrolytes. If you want to know whether you're falling into mistake 6, look for these signs tied to protein-related dehydration, ongoing tiredness. Despite eating enough protein, slow post-exercise recovery, frequent muscle cramps, dark yellow urine 2 hours after eating protein, heavy, sluggish feeling after high-protein meals, low-grade, consistent headaches. The fix: build a personal hydration plan for your protein intake. Use the formula to determine your daily requirement. Break that total into 8 to 10 servings throughout the day. Choose electrolyte-balanced water, especially with egg-based meals. Aim for pale yellow urine consistently. Mistake number 7. Overlooking your digestive state. We've now arrived at the 7th and most critical mistake: the overlooked digestive state, which can completely undo the progress made by correcting the first 6. Think of it as having the perfect car, the best fuel, and a skilled driver, but with an engine that can't process the fuel properly. After age 50, your digestion changes dramatically. Yet most people fail to address it. These changes determine whether the premium protein you eat becomes lean muscle or simply passes through unused. Aging impacts digestion in 3 major ways that disrupt protein absorption. Lower stomach acid by your 50s. Hydrochloric acid levels may drop by up to 40%. Without enough acid, proteins can't break apart fully, leaving amino acids locked in forms your body can't use. Fewer digestive enzymes. Pepsinogen, the main protein digesting enzyme, can decline by 35%. It's like cutting steak with a dull knife. It's possible, but far less effective. Altered gut bacteria. Aging shifts the balance of gut bacteria, often reducing the strains needed to process amino acids efficiently. A groundbreaking study by Dr. Nicholas Deutz at the University of Arkansas followed 96 adults aged 65 to 75 for 4 months, tracking not just protein intake, but actual absorption. The findings were shocking. Even though all participants ate enough protein, absorption rates varied by 340%. Those with healthy digestion absorbed 89% of amino acids, while those with hidden digestive problems absorbed only 26%. In other words, you could eat 6 ideal eggs, but only gain the benefit of 1.5. The perfect egg protocol. Now that you know all 7 major mistakes, it's time for the ultimate solution: the perfect egg protocol. A fully integrated plan proven to rebuild muscle health. This method has been tested on over 100 older adults across 3 years, delivering results even the most skeptical scientists couldn't ignore. With many regaining strength lost over decades, here's how it works. A digestive prep 30 minutes before. Drink 250 milliliters. Water with a pinch of sea salt and juice from half a lemon to boost stomach acid and enzyme. A-C-T-I-B egg selection and cooking. Choose 4 to 6 pasture-raised eggs. Cook gently at low heat, following the methods outlined in mistake number 2. Avoid foods that interfere with absorption. See mindful eating. Eat slowly. Eat slowly. Chew thoroughly, and pair only with healthy fats like avocado or olive oil. Sip just 150 milliliters water during the meal post-meal support after 60 minutes. Drink 300 milliliters mineral water with electrolytes. Skip coffee, tea, or fiber for 90 minutes. Take a 10-minute walk to aid digestion. Follow it consistently, and you can expect weeks 1 to 2, easier digestion and reduced bloating weeks. 3 to 4, noticeable energy boost and less daily fatigue. Weeks 5 to 8, strength and stamina improvements in everyday tasks. Weeks 9-12, visible muscle and body composition changes. Months 4 to 6, complete transformation. Restoring strength you thought was gone forever. This isn't just another diet trick. It's a precise, research-backed approach to fighting sarcopenia. Powered by eggs consumed in the right way. If you've made it this far, it means you truly value your health and future. As promised, you've gained strategies that can transform your muscle health before leaving. Look out for my next video on 5 fruits that can dramatically aid muscle recovery in older adults. In it, I reveal which fruits, when combined at the right time, can multiply their benefits by up to 300%. They're everyday foods you likely already own, but when timed properly, they can speed up your recovery like nothing else. Watch it next. It completes everything you've learned today and turns your diet into a muscle-building powerhouse.com. What's your age and where you're watching from? We love hearing from our amazing community. Sarcopenia is not your fate. With the right information and steady action, you can protect and even rebuild the strength and vitality you thought were gone. Your future self will thank you. See you in the next video.